Greetings, dear viewing audience. My name is Aman, and this show is called Where East Meets West. It is a show dedicated, as you know, if you've been viewing us for any period of time, it's a show dedicated to self-discovery and self-help. We always stay on the cutting edge of information, and this show is no less than that. We're with Brother Dr. Anthony Hernandez, who is a kinesiologist and a few other things that we're going to discover today. We're going to talk about something different, a way in which your body actually speaks to you to give you information about what it needs, not only on a nutritional level, no doubt, but also on an emotional level and perhaps even on a spiritual level. You'll get to see this all today. Just stay tuned, and we're going to be talking to as I said, Dr. Anthony Hernandez. How are you, sir?
Fantastic.
Good.
Great to be here.
Good, good. Now, you heard what I said about the kinesiology.
Yes.
Tell us about kinesiology and what exactly is it, and what do you do with it to help people in whatever condition they find themselves in?
Okay, well, kinesiology is not my primary tool.
Okay.
But it is a way in which you can measure how let's say we're testing someone's vitamins.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's traditional kinesiology does muscle testing.
Okay.
Where you can check the strength of someone's arm.
I see.
And then you can actually even think a thought.
Mm. And
then you can check like white sugar,
mm-hmm.
and the arm will go weak.
I see.
You know, it's a miracle. Well, how is that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thought waves are actually frequency. All life is made up of frequency and vibration.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact is the thought process sends a wave, and it's corresponding with the intelligence that is within the body.
Mm-hmm.
So when you test your vitamin, you ask the question, is this good for the person? Mm-hmm. And if they're stronger, then it strengthens them. If it's a little weaker, then it's not potentially the best supplement that they can be taking or thing they can be doing for their body. Mm-hmm. That's what we're saying. So the muscle testing is the traditional kinesiology mm-hmm. That we utilize.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you do in your practice, the muscle testing?
Well, I do that when someone brings in their medications.
Okay.
I utilize the muscle testing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I can utilize these energy rods or divining rods, which traditionally for centuries have been used for finding water. Dowsing rods.
Dowsing rods, right?
Yes, yes. Or they're chi rods. They also can measure the life force.
Okay.
Simply by asking those questions again, by thought or out loud.
Yes.
But in the body talk system, which is my primary way of helping my client to integrate their body mechanisms mm-hmm. and their systems so everything can start communicating better mm-hmm. and the body can actually begin healing itself, mm-hmm. we use a form of applied kinesiology.
Okay.
It's an adaptation. Mm-hmm. So if the client is laying on the massage table, mm-hmm. then with them laying down with a hand by their side mm-hmm. or across their diaphragm, mm-hmm. we just simply begin communicating with the innate intelligence, mm-hmm. which is the divine wisdom that knows how to, knows everything. Mm-hmm. Knows what we know and it knows what we don't know.
Right.
We can actually, it knows within the cell has this intelligence within it, mm-hmm. which knows how to create a tree or an apple mm-hmm. or the eyes and nose of the human body. Mm-hmm. So we begin with a simple form of communicating, which is creating a yes and a no mm-hmm. with the innate intelligence. Mm-hmm. And so this versus the arm, that would really wear out a person.
Right.
We just do a simple form, so we can do it all day long. Mm-hmm. It's not a problem. And if it's a yes, the arm will lift up mm-hmm. with a yes. Mm-hmm. And we establish the yes or no. With a no, same pressure won't lift.
I got you.
So I visualize like a rock being on the arm mm-hmm. initially
mm-hmm.
for a no,
mm-hmm.
and then like paper
mm-hmm.
being on top of it. The same pressure would lift automatically.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's called a calibration process. You
mm-hmm.
get it just right because everyone's a little different.
Right.
And that's the adapted form of kinesiology.
Mm-hmm. I can see how that would be kind of difficult if a person held their arm for an hour session as opposed to your adaptive form. You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that the body really, on a cellular level, knows a lot more than we know consciously. Because, you know, when you think of the body, and when I thought about cloning, for instance, they can take one cell and clone a whole human being just from one cell. And that cell can come from any part of their body, you know. So the knowledge in one cell contains the entire spectrum of the whole body, you know. And that's very interesting that you even mentioned that.
Well, this is a phenomenon that's known in mathematics and quantum physics now, that everything is holographic.
Yes.
Truly, everything is contained within one cell. The whole blueprint for all of creation you know, is actually there.
So you make use of it in your practice, make use of that one principle in your practice by deciding what a person needs nutritionally, emotionally, spiritually. How far do you take that practice?
Well, this is a great question, and this is what separates most, even natural healers, from the system that we utilize in Body Talk, and I've also created my own system called Body Tune-Up, which is something once someone is hardwired, I use the term because we're like a computer, a human computer. Right. And once a person is basically hardwired and integrated, then we can go into some higher forms.
I see.
And the Body Talk system addresses all this. You don't really need any supplements or anything when you utilize the system. However, many people keep the blocks in their mind where they don't want to make changes. You know, we all know about that.
Right.
Change and adapting, whether it's the emotions of fear for whatever reason.
Right.
But within the Body Talk system, we actually use a holistic approach and a systems approach to healing. So we look at it from the whole standpoint. And what differentiates this system that I really enjoy versus most other systems is the fact that we're not going on the knowledge that the practitioner has. Okay, we're going on what innate intelligence says that it would like to do. Okay, so we establish the yes or no, and innate takes over with the session, and we just simply go through this protocol, and you know, the Body Talk protocol, and we go through it, and the whole system, the innate will link together.
I see.
Whichever parts that need to be linked together. So, for example, if your liver and the gallbladder aren't communicating very well for whatever reason, we establish essentially the neural network and reprogram it so they can start shaking hands again and saying, okay, we can work together. So that's how the body gets integrated again, through these links that innate wants to put together.
I understand. So you establish a link between them, and then they start working in a complementary fashion instead of in an oppositional fashion.
Right.
They stop being in conflict with one another,
right,
and start being and working in harmony with one another, just as they're designed to do.
Exactly.
And so, do you not have to work on belief systems? And I'm certain that's a part of it. I see you smiling.
Yeah.
But do you not have to work on belief systems to get out of the way so that they can start functioning together?
Well, the great thing about the innate intelligence is that it knows everything.
I see.
So if the person consciously wants to address that or not, if innate's ready to address it, it will. When the link comes together, then of course it's being addressed. So the individual will start seeing the results of that regardless of whether they consciously want to do this or not.
I see.
You see, the innate intelligence is it's profound. It knows what I know. It knows what I don't know. And another professional may get different links to achieve the same thing because of their knowledge. I see. Or the way that they may go about it.
So the systems that it unites or that it coordinates with, well, we're talking about the organ systems, the liver, the pancreas, the lungs, the heart, the spleen, all of those things, all of those systems. Those are the systems that you talk about. Is that correct?
And more.
And more.
Yeah, the Body Talk system is very tremendous. It basically overlays the whole human being. So everything from the belief systems, which are here in our active memory, also events, fears, phobias, but everything that we can experience are environmental factors.
I see.
You know, in addition to the endocrines and the body parts and the organs, we've got the Oriental understanding, the Eastern understanding of 5 elements. Okay, and of course, our 5 senses. We perceive everything through our 5 senses, and our consciousness itself determines who we are, how we perceive things, how we react. And so all of these things are incorporated into this system.
I see.
So past events, blockages we may have in our body, family patterns, generational things from past generations may come up. So anything we can possibly experience can be related to in this system. So innate can go anywhere it needs to go.
I see. So, so this is more than just the simple practice of applied kinesiology. It seems, you know, you link so many different ways of concepts, ways of thinking. Even with the 5 elements, that's Oriental. Yeah. You know, so then you link that with the kinesiology kind of with what you're understanding about kinesiology. Now, the endocrine system, the glands and so forth, they're also a part of that. Explain how that's a part of it. The glands play a part in balancing the body system.
Okay. Let me start by backing up a little bit. We mentioned that all life is a frequency and vibration in the world of matter and form. Well, we have our spiritual essence, of course, which is the life force, the Holy Spirit, however we want to address that. Now, this is an extremely high frequency, which now can be measured scientifically, so we know it exists. So the ancients who have had Hatha Yoga and a lot of these ancient systems for healing are now being scientifically proven that, hey, these guys knew what they were doing.
Right.
You know, they know what they're talking about. And within the body talk system, of course, as spirit comes down, we have what are called chakras, or energy centers, energies. And they are, chakra means wheel in Ayurvedic. So these are wheels of energy where this higher energy comes in through our pineal gland. Okay, we bring in this life force energy. Pituitary, the thymus, the thyroid, you know, our spleen, the pancreas. Of course, we have our, you know, the organs, male and female organs, etc. So these are receivers of this high energy. And they come in, and of course, the body needs to utilize the melanin as a transducer to step down this high frequency so it can be utilized by the body.
Yes.
And as we know, this is a higher system. The endocrine system is a higher system than the nervous system and these sort of things because of the fact of what they work with. They work with this life force energy.
You know, I once read something, and it was dealing with the Kundalini. And it was saying that the energy movement is, as the energy moves from the base chakra up through the various chakras, or up through the various chakras, that they start to balance, you know, the chakras out, you know, the organs and glands related to those things are starting to they balance them out, you know. So that sounds like what you're talking about.
And this all can be measured, and I measure it with my clients, and they're amazed, and I'm even amazed you know, that these rods can show it physically. I'm a Reiki master as well, amongst other training, so we can channel this Holy Spirit or divine light flowing through us consciously and give this energy to the bioenergetic field of the individual, which again can be measured, not hocus pocus. You know, it can be measured and is measured scientifically. But after utilized, we can check these chakra points along the body or the meridian systems
to see if they're balanced after.
To see if they're balanced after. And if anything is weak, we can then bring them up by a variety of methods.
And what would some of the methods be? For instance, if my solar plexus chakra were not balanced after we went through balancing that, how would what for example would be done for that particular chakra?
Okay. Now there are various ways to go about this. A traditional way of balancing you can balance from the seventh chakra to the root chakra, okay, and then you go the sixth to the second, all right, and then you get to the solar plexus, which is the third chakra, and measure it to the fifth chakra. Now, when you can either hold the energies and do a bioenergetic synchronization. It's called the BEST technique, bioenergetic synchronization technique, and that's merely, we are all electrical, okay? That's what our energy is, electrical. And of course, the difference between a person who is dead, it just has no energy. All the blood's there, everything's there, except there's no energy. So the energy is a crucial part, and so we can actually balance the body just by holding the hands of the lobe. If a third party does it, they're in the circuit. If you've ever held a battery, you become part of that circuit.
Right.
And so the sides, the lobes, can be balanced, or in this case, we would balance the fifth and the solar plex chakra, and that would balance out that energy, and we can check it again. Or we can do Reiki and these sort of things. Now, this wouldn't be within the Body Talk protocol.
Okay.
Within Body Talk, if Innate says that energies are a priority, there's another way that we go about that within the system.
And how would that be?
In Body Talk, the energies are actually, you have within each chakra, within each of these 7 chakras, you have a subset of each 7. Okay? So the Body Talk system, when you're checking, when you're asking yes or no, there's a few more questions. If it's yes, it's more specific. You ask the question, do we need more detail, in other words? If it's yes, then you go through and ask more questions, okay? Specific protocol. And, of course, we have further is another part in the system, which can ask details, which could be a subsession, for example. The chakra could be out of balance in the solar plex, but that might be a subsession to, say, a sibling, a person, place, thing, time, money, any of those things can be related to the solar plex. This is our power center.
I see.
So let's say it's a subsession needs to be done on the spouse, let's say, okay? And then we'll be doing a separate Body Talk session within that on the spouse, okay?
I see.
Or, of course, it can be any of these other things. Time, person, place, object, action, events, animals, work, emotions.
Really, this whole therapy, it just reflects how interrelated and interconnected everything is.
Without a doubt.
We walk around in our separate little box, in our separate minds, thinking that we're this person as opposed to that person, and thinking that our actions over here don't affect the actions over there. But in fact, it does. It does in a very organic, tangible way. But that's disconnected because we are not focused on the connection between what we said, think, or did in one instance to what happened in another instance. So this whole practice kind of really gives me hope that now humanity is starting to begin to put it all together, to see the integrating factor in everything, in everything that we do and everything that we speak, in fact, and certainly in everything we think, So what else? I see you have here belief systems, heart, love, be loved, to love, and all of this. So the heart chakra seems to be, as in most systems, in this system, it seems to be the middle portion, the most the integrating factor in this whole practice. So can you speak to us about the heart and what it in fact how important it is to integrate through the heart.
Yeah. I'm glad you asked this.
Mm-hmm.
The heart, of course, is love. Love is the highest vibration and frequency. Mm-hmm. It entails everything, all the higher virtues, forgiveness, and all of these things come through the heart. Mm-hmm. There's a great website, heartmath.com.
Oh, yes. I read that book, Heart Math.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And basically, the findings here show that within one heartbeat are infinite heartbeats. Mm. Okay, so what's happening here is the heart is communicating with every cell in the body and checking to see, okay, communicating. How's everything? Okay, if there's a change, it's communicating with the whole body system.
Yes.
And so what happens, and this is a phenomenal within the body talk system, is that we utilize the Eastern method of Hatha Yoga when all the links are together, okay, and it goes to implementation, okay, tap out, all right? Now we're ready for the body to get all of this integration in the link that Innate has selected, has chosen, that it is the highest priority that Innate has at that time. So then once that link is together, we're going to tap over both hemispheres of the brain, an old Hatha Yoga technique, okay? And that's telling the right and left hemispheres to fix it, okay, to heal. So we're tapping. And then we tap over the sternum, or the heart, telling the body to store it, to store the change, okay? Now, meanwhile, the client is breathing deep. Full breath in, full breath out. And they're breathing in. I ask my clients to imagine the divine light or the wisdom, the healing energy of creation coming into their body, because that's what it is, the breath of life, right? Coming in. And now when they're breathing out, it's letting go. They're letting go of what no longer serves them. Now the breath is correlating with the heart because the full breath allows us to take in the full spectrum of frequencies of everything that exists for our healing.
I see.
Because remember now, we're connected with the innate intelligence leading this, which is the divine wisdom. So all these things can occur now. Sure. We're going ahead, and what we're doing is we're reprogramming the neural net in the brain, in the nervous system, and the communication between that and the heart. Now it's telling all the cells, okay, and everything, fix it and store this change. When this was first brought to the founder of this system, Dr. John Veltheim, they brought it to him, and he was never able to get rid of Epstein-Barr virus. And you know, he's a leading doctor, university teacher in various systems, just a tremendously knowledgeable and forward-thinking healthcare teacher. But immediately, when he began tapping, bam, his temperature went up to about 107, a healing process. Most people would freak out. But he knew something good was going on, because now the body was uniting its forces to attack this virus. Okay? However, it held, but it didn't hold all the way. So after working with it, after a few months, he realized that tapping here over the sternum would, so he started to work with this system that was brought to him by other colleagues. And that was the beginning of this body talk system back in 1996, 95. And now it's in many countries, utilized by our leading athletes. You know, it's in the mainstream. Even regular medical doctors are utilizing this system now. So it's crossing over into the allopathic. So East is meeting West, and it's all coming together.
Yes. And I must have felt that because, you know, that's the name of my show, East Meets West. But, you know, it's interesting, too, when you know, there used to be a time when folk would think that the brain was hardwired, that whatever you was born with, you died with. But now the new science, especially quantum mechanics and so forth, but the new science and new physics is the new physiology studies, they're beginning to notice that we are now able to rewire our brains. They call it neuroplasticity.
Yeah.
You know, it's when the brain is really plastic and not metal. The brain is really not solid, but able to be molded and shaped according to our level of consciousness that we adopt, that we choose, you know, from moment to moment. Exactly. And so we can rewire the neural nets in our brains and create a new being out of an old vessel, you know,
exactly.
and even recreate the vessel to a large extent, you know. So that neural net change is something that can happen. You know, I see that very, very clearly.
I see it almost every day.
Yeah. So do you see clients that are beginning to respond to this in a way that have created a way of being?
Without a doubt. I recently had a client come to me who was referred to me from another practitioner, and she said, "I've been to many, many doctors. Nobody can help me. You know, you're my last hope." The person was about to really commit suicide or something because they just couldn't get it together. And the body talk links were very, very simple. And the primary one was this essential general balancing right here. Okay? The EGBs, we call them. And this was able to basically reset a lot of the patterning in the whole body. It includes cortices, which balances the brain, the right and left hemisphere, so that everything can start communicating across the hemispheres in synchronicity.
I see.
Yes. And another thing that, for this client, just to give you an example of how powerful this one essential general balancing can be, the first one, SB, is the spheno-basilar joint. It's basically, the skull is two bones, okay, the skull, and it pulses together about 13 or 14 times per minute, and it pumps the cerebral spinal fluid through the body. Okay? So this can get off, it can get jammed. And so when we do the adjustment in body talk, it sets it back to normal. Okay, so people who get tension headaches and chronic things like this, they can just go away. Because it can be that simple. Switching is another one of these essential balancing. When we push ourselves, the body has a built-in mechanism to turn off. You know, at night, you know, we get to a certain point, body naturally wants to fall asleep. You know, wants to shut down. When we push past that, we can get switched. Okay? So now we're on the other side of the body traditional functioning, where instead of it wanting to shut down and rebuild, we've pushed past that point, and we can get switched to where we're on the other side. And so we reset that through the kidney 27 points. And again, tapping and breathing over the head and the heart. And sometimes it might be details, more specific tapping we might need to rub or something like that. But we can reset that switching and resynchronize the body back to normal. And of course we can balance the cortices. Hydration is another one that's major. Our body we can drink water, but our body won't be absorbing it too well. So with the hydration we can adjust those things.
I see.
Yeah.
Smoking. If a person came to you and says, "I want to get rid of this addiction. I'm sick and tired of the smell," and so forth and so on, and the whole thing related to smoke. Is there any help that you can bring to them through the advanced body talk protocol?
Certainly.
From addictions.
Certainly we can. Again, the addictions, it's an emotion. But it's the addiction that's bad. Emotions aren't bad.
Right.
You know, the emotions are good.
Yes.
You know, they're essential.
Yes, sir.
But it's the addictions that are bad. And of course, there are things within the cigarettes that are making them addicted. Okay? So what we do is, in the body talk, first thing we ask is, are permissions a priority? Okay? If permissions are a priority, then it's either with the professional, the practitioner, where they have to refocus, or it's with the client, mind, body, or spirit. And then we resolve that. And then we get into the protocol. And we might have to do an agenda, which means specifically towards the addiction, addressing that. But maybe not.
When you say do an agenda, what does that mean?
That means an agenda session where the focus is specifically the addiction. However, Innate might just say, no, a regular body talk session will do what we need to do today.
So none of this information, let me rephrase that question. When you deal with this, I mean, you truly meant what you said when you said that that the body talks and tells and guides you, and you, the practitioner, and you, the patient or the client, you really are almost looking for guidance or looking at the body to direct you as to what needs to be adjusted or balanced to correct the system. I mean, you really meant that.
Oh, yes, because there are many times where I would think that this is what I would normally recommend, but the body's not saying that.
Right.
And the reason for that is because the body might not be ready. For example, what if the heart started beating in a fetus before the the capillaries and everything were in place?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
There's a natural order to things.
Right.
And so who knows better than the divine intelligence that is fulfilling the order anyway? So the most humbling thing about the system is that I get to get out of the way and just let the innate do what it needs to do, and I'm just
and that's an interesting thing because it really takes a lot of the stress off of you. I mean, a lot of the I got to know this, I got to be all that, and just allow yourself to be in sync with life, and to be in sync with consciousness. It allows you to do that without having to feel the pressure of having to be the know-it-all, the great doctor in the sky, because life, because we weren't around. I mean, no one thought about how to make their body, but yet their body was made before they consciously decided that it should look like this. It was made, So there is an innate intelligence. There is an intelligence that's beyond our conscious thought, and we allow that to happen in our being. I think that's a beautiful system. This is my first time becoming aware of it. I never knew about it. I'm glad the viewing audience is here to look in on this and to see exactly what what use they can make out of it. I'd like you to give your number. It's being shown up on the screen, but I don't want you to just say it because I really want people to get in contact with you who might be interested in some of the things that we've talked about for further information. And then I want to talk about some of the other products which we can talk about the necessity for them or to be in as a part of this protocol too. So give your number, and then we'll start talking about the products you have distributed on the table here.
Sure. The number here in the Atlanta area is 404-349-5517. It's 404-349-5517.
And when would they be able to call you and make contact with you?
Well, 24 hours. Someone will answer, or there'll be a machine, and then I return calls, as I'm able to through the day, or I have an assistant to do that also.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Now, what about the products here on the table? They're so neatly. I mean, it was so nicely done. I don't even want to take them down and push them aside, but talk to us about, first of all, tell us about, is there a need to have ancillary products in conjunction with the Body Talk protocol?
Truly there isn't. There really isn't. Of course, healing, the practitioner doesn't heal or do anything. They just assist in the process. The body does the healing. The individual does the healing. And so what we find with the Body Talk system is that it's so thorough and complete that it can work all on its own. For example, the smoker who's got an addiction, the link may go straight to body chemistry, to toxins, alleviate what's left over in the body, and then it may link up belief systems or events, Maybe it's an environmental factor, and that might lead to, stresses, that sort of thing, that the person may experience. It may be an issue in their environment, a general, more specifically, issue that might go to money. So the person just smokes because they're nervous, because they're, having an issue with money.
I see.
Or that sort of thing. But once those things are integrated, the body's able to handle it, and now it can function on a whole nother level. So it can function more optimally.
I see.
And that's what the integration can do. And now the person doesn't feel that stress, so they might just, instead of smoking a pack a day, they might go down to 5 or 6 a day the next day or the same day. Case in point, I had one client who had a food intolerance. They were addicted to chocolate. Okay, I mean, so bad that I won't even tell you what the results were, but they were addicted, and every time they ate it, it was just terrible. So on our 4th visit, food intolerance came up, and I asked the person, does this make any sense to you? Do you have any food? Oh, yeah, I'm addicted to chocolate. Okay, is this it? Oh, yeah, the arm just flew up. And so we did that, the tapping and everything, and that was, the appointment was at 10:30 in the morning, and every day by 2 o'clock they were just guzzling, literally guzzling the Hershey's chocolate. Okay, so by 4 o'clock, I said, I don't have a desire for the chocolate. What's going on? I guess this stuff is working, but let's just see. So they went ahead and did it anyway to test. They told me on the next visit, and she said, I guzzled it and no reaction at all. Same day. So instantly, when the mind gets it and the innate puts the proper links together, then of course the body is able to get its forces together to wipe out parasites, viruses, bacteria, allergies, fungus, all this stuff can be wiped out. I had one guy who was an alcoholic, and when we did the liver link to the other items that the body wanted to link together, all of a sudden he started discharging all this, it smelled like a brewery in there. but it actually was discharging. And his wife called me out and said, you guys been out drinking. I'm mad at my husband. He said I should call you and just check. I said, hey, we just simply did a few body talk links, and he's actually releasing all of this that was stored up in his body.
Interesting. So, but these products, they do assist, because sometimes, I think we were talking earlier, that sometimes people have resistant to change, and so they need some sort of tangible something, to create a space for them and permission for them, perhaps, to change, And so we give them these things, which are good. The vibrations are probably in tune with the vibrations that they have to have in their space at that time to help them with that change. So talk to us about some of the things that you may use for that to happen with them.
Okay. Sure. I'd be glad to do that. What we find is, of course, people are very, we are very hands-on. We like to touch and feel things. And we like our senses to be appealed. Something smells good. The smell of a rose, is a beautiful thing. It makes us feel a certain way because it is a frequency that is very nice to us. And of course, all of our medicines and everything today, they're derived from natural sources. We know this. The active ingredients have been isolated and then synthetically created, And so what we find is what I have found is that I utilize teas for people to help support their changes or their liver function. Again, we can measure where they are if an organ is weak, even after the adjustments and everything. We know there's a weak system there. So we want to give it extra support. We can utilize herbs and that sort of thing. And I like to utilize teas. I use the very specific type of yerba mate from the Brazilian rainforest as my base. And I utilize the same type of system that we've been using indigenously around the planet for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years. And I actually customize blends for my clients. And I have some general blends One is cleansing. Help cleanse the colon. When the colon's cleansed, everything can function better. I have a client right now who's just had a child, and she came to me to increase her lactation. Well, we found out an amazing thing. When her colon was clear, she gets an extra ounce or two.
Okay.
Each time she has to pump for the baby. So we're finding these things all the time. We're finding more and more ways of working with nature and synchronizing it with the advanced findings of Western medicine and the ancient findings of that we've known forever, for a long time. And things like this applied kinesiology. By combining these, I've come up with this incredible system that's been working real well, the body tune-up system. So once I have a client that's pretty hardwired, and sometimes, like in the body talk system, there's other modalities. It's so intelligent, the innate intelligence, it can refer out. So it can say, okay, reflexology, this person needs reflexology.
Did you want to show something down there, or you want me to take that?
Well, no, it's okay. But the point is that all of our senses need to be turned on. Okay, we need to be integrated. And the more we integrate and the more we turn on these mind and the body mechanisms, the higher we can function. And our higher capacities now can also start shining.
I see.
See, so what you were speaking on regarding the mind earlier, that our belief systems can actually hold us back. Okay, so as a client works through things, they're able to step into a whole nother level of consciousness and awareness about themselves, life around them, how they feel about others, forgiveness, and some of these higher principles now can really start to be more part of their character.
Yes. And it's interesting too as I think about it. When you do deal with a higher, and I guess that's the right word. It's the only word I'm thinking of right now. When you do deal with a higher form of thought process, love, as opposed to hate, peace, and we can turn down, peace as opposed to, we can echo in the, peace as opposed to, turn down the studio mic, and that'll stop that echo. Peace as opposed to disharmony. When you start thinking from that level of consciousness, then a whole range of I call it the portal opens up to you. A different consciousness opens up to you. That allows you to think about things in a different way, and creative ideas come to you that cannot come to you when you think about the so-called negative ways of hatred, pity, disappointment, despair. When you think about those things, then you are closing the aperture, closing the portal of wisdom at that point to you, and closing off your ability to be an effective creator, which is what we're designed to be. So when that occurs to me as I look at your chart here, and I see how, in fact, by using and balancing your system through body talks, you open the client up to a higher, or more complete, or more open level of consciousness. The love level. That's interesting to me.
Yes, and that's why we use these ancillary products as well, not only for aroma therapy and the good feelings, but for example, these bath salts and scrubs, they allow you to reach those levels, all when you're by yourself in your bathtub, and you have these bath scents and salts coming up and relaxing you. The stress can just go away.
Now, is this formulated by you, or you?
This is a family product. Yes. Yes. Okay. Actually, my mother and sister formulate this. You can visit them at living-roots.com.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. And let's see. All right. Now all of this is the same product here?
No, these are all different products.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now this is the oil. These are the oils, right?
Yeah.
Then this is the kind of, you would either put it directly on your body, or you would put it in a bath, water, or you would could you put it in a burner?
Yes, you
burner?
can. Yes, you can.
Mm.
Yes, there are various ones for those purposes.
Mm-hmm.
For example, this calming, it's a massage oil.
Mm-hmm.
The person who blended this, who happens to be my mother,
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot from, actually.
Yeah.
She used to be the reflexologist regional director of the National Association
Mm-hmm.
in the south central part of the United States.
Okay.
So she's been working with clients for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And she developed these products specifically for her clients that were ill.
I see.
So she started to put together specific blends for their conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how this all started,
I see.
20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular one has got essential oils,
Mm-hmm.
okay, the highest quality,
Mm-hmm.
bergamot, lavender, geranium, and it's blended in a sweet almond, safflower, and soy oils.
Interesting.
For example, in this one. And this is calming.
Calming.
Massage oil.
So there's specific. Some are specifically for calming, and others are specifically for stress and other things.
Right.
That is for right there. What is that?
Oh, this
for?
is a bigger bottle of calming.
Oh, calming.
Yes. There's stress, and these are just the ones that I brought with me.
Gotcha.
There's a whole variety
Mm-hmm.
of products for various purposes.
So now, what is this about?
These are body butters,
Mm-hmm.
okay, which is shea butter, kind of whipped up, and my sister makes these,
Mm-hmm.
Amiella,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll see that they're great.
Mm-hmm.
They have certified organic products for
Mm-hmm.
people who are very purists,
Mm-hmm.
that use essential oils
Mm-hmm.
as scent or for effect in the body.
I see.
And this particular one is Blue Nile,
Mm-hmm.
African Queen.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole line of these,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's different purposes for them too,
Mm-hmm.
because we know that spirit is life,
Mm-hmm.
and the body is for living.
Mm-hmm.
So that just about says it all. If you have good oils to rub on your skin's smooth, you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
These body scrubs are amazing.
And these are the body scrubs right here.
On the bottom.
Right here.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what is that? That's a liquid and some salts in there.
Yeah, special sea salts,
Mm-hmm.
and special oils.
Let the camera see this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I see.
And the first time I ever tried this, I was amazed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I washed my body as clean as I could. I figured, no, there's no more skin on my body that's dead,
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to use the scrub and the salt.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It's an exfoliant. It takes off the excess layers of your skin.
Mm-hmm.
So now, the greatest organ in the body, of course, is the skin.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you take all the dead skin off,
Mm-hmm.
now you feel so refreshed. You feel so much lighter.
Hmm.
And there are different types here. There's some for men, which is sunrise, and for women it's called sunset.
Mm-hmm.
They just have a great time putting these together.
And in different colors too. I mean, that's tantalizing. Green.
This is it's water, water sea salt,
Mm-hmm.
and this goes really well with these pure bath salts. This
Mm-hmm.
one is Blue Nile,
Mm-hmm.
for example.
Mm-hmm.
So these go together in scent,
Mm-hmm.
and just the whole line. There's a White Nile bath salt.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the African Queen and this is Ma'at.
Mm-hmm.
And they all serve a different purpose. They're formulated with specific essential oils for a specific purpose.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And of course, prayer and love is a big part of all.
Yes. Let's rearrange this. I like the way this looks. Yeah.
And whenever they do the trade shows, you get rave reviews for their hand scrubs.
Okay.
And your hands just feel so nice afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Your natural skin, the oil, it's cleansed, and your hands just feel so good. I wish you can do a demo right now so you can feel it. But it's just a great line of products. I've used a lot of different products, and not only because this is family, but this is the highest quality that I've been able to find.
I see.
Yeah.
You truly have a blessed family, very talented to be able to put together such a variety and of things that I can see really do help with whatever the different conditions. Because as you said, everything is vibration, everything is energy, and when we recognize that and are able to put together formulas that address that, then that's when true healing starts to happen.
Yes, because we know it's intention.
Yes,
it's intention.
Yes,
and then when we line up with the natural elements, then that just magnifies it.
Yes. I agree with that 100%. And this is just another formulation of tea?
Yes, this is my personal formulations I have for strength, stability, stabilizing the body, the tonic formulation for the tea, which basically we've been able to balance out diabetes, bring down high blood pressure, and these sort of things.
Okay.
And cleansing is a very important part of it. So in general, we always check with the body, but in general, the PMT we utilizes cleansing.
PMT, and what?
Which means at night. It's the nighttime one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got
you.
PM time.
Yes.
I got you.
Then a daily. And the PM has cleansing, but it also provides nutrients. Because we know in the evening, not only does the body reset itself, but it starts rebuilding. It repairs. There's a repair cycle that goes on in the evening. We know that through the Eastern way of understanding things, now let me see if I have a chart here. Well, there's a clock cycle where energy moves through the body. You've probably had, you have had people on your show talk about this. And so in the evening, the energy goes into the gallbladder, which resets all the organ functions. So that's the time when we really should be asleep. That's the time when we should at least be concentrated on relaxation.
Yeah.
And so the PMT is formulated to not only help the body cleanse and purge and pick up waste and move it out of the body, but also to provide nutrients to rebuild.
Sure. Understood.
And the daily teas are either customized for the individual, or we have the strength tea or the stability. Stability.
The stability. I got it now.
and that's specifically designed to help bring the body back in balance.
Yeah.
So if that example you used earlier about the person with the solar plex weakness, the stability would be something that I'd probably have them maybe test and see maybe a quart a day of that during the day that they would sip on.
Understood.
And of course, maybe you don't want to take it every day, but 5 days a week, have a cup to 3 cups a day. And some people go, I have many clients that drink a quart to a half a gallon a day.
In our technology times, we are out of sync with nature, and to a large degree. And that being out of sync with nature, we get on the corporate time, and our bodies feels the effect of that. And that's why this sort of balancing and rebalancing helps. But but I think that what this does is it causes us to recognize that we need to be on natural time, and that natural time has to be in sync with the rhythm of life.
Yes.
And so all of these new, I call them complementary, but they're not really complementary. They're really natural forms of therapy. They help us to remember who and what we really are. We got about 4 minutes. And as a result of that, I usually let the guests just say what they want to the audience in reference to what we've been saying, or in reference to a passion that you have about how therapy should happen in the near future, what your vision is. So however you want to leave, whatever vision you want to leave the viewing audience, you can say it now if you like to.
Well, we can control our own destiny, and it begins with the desire and awareness. We need to awaken to that potential then we can actually move into it and take steps. But first is the recognition that we are great beings. We are magnificent. And we can return to this position, and we have to do it step by step. First, we have to control our mind, our body, and our spirit. If we can integrate these, then we've taken a gigantic leap. Okay? And this can be done. And we need a little assistance sometimes, but really the choice is ours. I'm a natural doctor, which means I believe everything in nature is the way to go. That's how we have come to our scientific age, is through nature. Okay? So the way back is through nature also, without a doubt. And the integration can happen step by step. For example, this tea here has been known throughout forever in the Amazon rainforest as the drink of the gods, the beverage of the gods. They drink it, all the time. It's got more phenols, polyphenols, all of these things, vitamins, nutrients, amino acids, over 96 of these. It's more than green tea. It's not known that way, but that's the scientific study. And so when we utilize these things out of nature, the salt, natural organic salt from natural sources is good for us. It doesn't drive up our blood pressure, it brings it down. It provides minerals, it energizes the organs. It gives us electrical energy. There are just so many things that benefit that when we start returning to nature. Gardening is one of the greatest things we can possibly do for ourselves. Growing our own vegetables and that sort of thing. And we get our hands in the dirt, it balances our body naturally.
I'm going to wrap it up now. I appreciate you, and I thank you for coming and sharing this wonderful, wonderful health tips, but the protocol system to us. And I know now that the viewing audience has another way of viewing themselves and how they want to deal with the conditions that they find themselves in. So, as we always say when we go off the air, peace be with you. And it was a fun, pleasing pleasure to be with you today and to bring you this information that I know that it will be helpful to you. And you look further into it and see how you think about it and how you want to deal with life from this point on. So have a good day and a good way. Peace and blessings.
I know that it seems you've been waiting for a very long time. I know that your heart isn't breaking and you're waiting on mine. I know these are the days that are passing by. I know you gotta give with your heart and you bet not lie.